What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Clickercast, episode 6. I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way. Apologies. I'm kind of nasally. We were going to record this like 3 days ago, and that was just not going to happen.
Yeah.
It was way worse than how I am now. So, if you don't like it, I completely understand it. I don't like it either.
Tough. Deal with it.
Or that too. Anywho, welcome to episode 6 of the Clickercast. I am, of course, joined by my my fellow clickers.
Oh, okay. Artie the gamer. Hello.
Ballistic Gaming. Hi.
How are you two?
Good. Good.
Vibing, chilling.
Vibing and chilling. Good.
Vibing and chilling.
Great.
Fantastic. You love to hear it. Are you two ready to
How
get
are
sad?
you, host?
Are you two ready to get sad?
I was sad multiple times.
And I'm all right, by the way. I wish this shit would be done, but I think I'm on the tail end of it. So
Yeah, that's good.
yeah, but yeah. So we got a lot to talk about because The Last of Us episode 5 was. I mean, we all knew what was coming because we played the game. Obviously, that's why we're doing this podcast.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, man, episode 5 was a heavy fucking episode. And of course, spoilers ahead if you have not watched The Last of Us on HBO Max or HBO Television. Not sponsored, although it probably should be. Please leave now. The show will be there. Go watch it, then come back to our either video, which is on 3 different YouTube channels, or on audio on like 9 different podcast platforms. So there you go.
Yes.
Oh god, this is gonna be rough. Yeah,
Breathe.
enjoy it because I fucking can't. It sucks. Anyway, episode 5. Listen, I just want to get some initial thoughts out of the way, man.
Okay.
Because like we all knew what episode 5 was gonna be.
Yeah.
I thought they did it beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
And the little twists that they put in there about the characters, I thought was good. Like it almost added something to the story that was already really good. So, just initial thoughts of episode 5 before we get into the bread and butter.
Oh man, they
Sam being deaf
yeah.
really changed the game.
Yeah, it's like you kind of knew that you were going like when they added that added a whole different dynamic.
Oh yeah.
Because at first, like, because when you first get introduced to like that 10 day ago scene, and he just signed whatever.
Yep.
And I instantly said, "Oh, he's deaf."
Yeah.
Artie,
I thought it was
disagreed
like
with me at first.
I did actually.
It's like,
I
no,
thought
they're probably
they were
not
doing
trying to be
sign
loud.
language to stay silent,
Right.
and then once they were in private, they could speak as freely as they wanted to.
Right.
Mhm.
Because in the
But they
game,
did not.
Sam is not deaf.
Right.
So I was like, oh no, it's just they're just doing it to stay quiet because
Yeah.
these people are looking for their asses.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Kinda
caught it.
crazy.
I caught it right away.
Yeah,
And I'm like, no fucking way they did not.
they did.
They did not just do that. Because that's gonna make everything so much fucking sadder.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, they did.
and they're very good at that because they do it every fucking week.
Yep. Yep.
Oh
Yep.
my god, every week.
So, I told y'all. I told you, listeners, you get ready to be sad, and viewers. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
So we
Hello,
start.
viewers, you special.
So we start off with Henry and Sam backstory. the night that Fedra fell.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, it's, riots, fire, gunfire, bodies. It's violent. It's very violent.
Yes.
Oh god, this is gonna be rough. You had Kathleen and Perry interrogating a group of people they're just looking for Henry. Which you later find out, which we'll get to it, but apparently Henry had killed. Ooh, focus. Henry had killed Kathleen's, what was it, brother?
Yes.
Brother, yes.
Whatever. That's gonna be like that apparently. Sorry, viewers, you're dealing with a blurry ear. I don't feel like fixing it. The listeners don't care though.
No, they don't give
It's
two
true.
shits about that.
So they interrogate the group. They don't get a whole lot of information. Okay, so, and also to be perfectly honest with everybody, very transparent here, we're recording this a week after that episode aired.
Yep.
Yes.
So actually in IRL time, we're actually, spoilers, we're not recording this live in living color. We're actually on
Whoa.
episode 6 of the show,
Yes.
while we're recording episode 6 of the podcast.
Yes.
So that's a thing. So I will say, some of the minor details are a little blurry to me. So I may not be as, like, on top of it as I normally am. So apologies for that. But staying with as much as possible here, I believe Perry or probably Kathleen had ordered that group to be taken care of? Question mark.
The one in the cells?
No, that entire group that they had. Well, I guess the one in the cell. That entire group that they had interrogated. I believe.
Yeah, that was Kathleen. She said because Perry went, so are we really gonna let them go? And Kathleen's like, no, of course not.
Yeah.
Take care of it.
So I
And-
mean, that it shows you that Kathleen is fucking ruthless.
Yeah.
But the doctor who had gotten shot by Kathleen in the previous episode, we find out is the reason why Henry and Sam were hiding up in that attic.
Yes.
He showed them the hideout.
Yeah.
And that's also when we find out that Sam, or at least the actor who is playing Sam, well, no, I'm sorry, I misspoke on that. That's when we find out that Sam, instead of, not in the game to where he wasn't, Jesus fucking Christ, I'm tripping on my words. Cut, start it all over. Joking.
Take your time.
He's fucking deaf, yo.
Yeah.
Yes.
God damn it.
Yeah, he is.
He is
No.
deaf. And actually, for future reference, Kevon Woodard, who plays Sam, is actually a deaf actor. He is deaf in real life.
Yeah, and I thought that was a huge. I thought that was huge
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
to actually bring in like an actual deaf actor to then play a deaf character who wasn't deaf in the game. Like, it is insane. The
Lasers.
kid knocked it out of the park. I
yeah.
thought.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought so. But it also seems like Sam has like this like superhero like obsession.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Like I'm 30 years old, still have a superhero obsession, but whatever. But the doctor leaves Sam and Henry in the attic, and then we do a time jump of 10 days later, and they ran out of all the food that they had.
Yeah.
And the doctor is gone. Now, I think that was the doctor just caught by his own well-being, or was he given up to then try to save the spot of Henry and Sam, because I'm drawing a blank on that as well.
I don't think they really explained
I don't
like
think
how
they
he got caught.
said.
I'm assuming he was probably possibly going for supplies and just got at
Right.
that point
Probably.
Right.
because they were running out of fucking food.
Right.
But they didn't really go into it fully. Hey, look, it's a clear hero.
Yeah, finally.
Hooray!
Jesus.
I can see clearly now.
I'm gonna be
He's
honest.
gone.
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't heard anybody call me that in 3 weeks.
It's
bro.
like, who?
It's weird.
Bro.
But the doctor vanished. We then have a very tense moment between Henry and
Mhm.
Sam as Henry is realizing that time is up.
Yeah.
We need to go.
Mhm.
So, and at that point, Sam like almost feels like he doesn't want to leave because he thinks, obviously they've been at this place for 10 days with all the food, and the doctor is the one that showed him where it was. So I guess in Sam's mind, he's thinking that this is a safe place. This is, why do we have to leave here?
Yeah.
Which at that point, Henry, of course, I'm just completely speculating. It's incredibly difficult to get any kind of. That's gonna make it sound bad. No, so it's incredibly difficult to assume what a character is thinking when the character themselves can't talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Granted, the kid that played Sam, I don't remember his name, forgive me. He knocked it out of the park. I thought he did
Yes.
fantastic.
Yep.
But it's still one of those, like, it's incredibly difficult to gauge the opinion, the feeling, the all of that off of a
Yes.
character that doesn't speak.
Yeah.
So that's of course just kind of like my assumption of what he was going through mentally at the end of those 10 days.
Yeah, because when you're trying to watch somebody sign, and you're not, obviously, if you're not fluent in any kind of sign language, which I know I'm assuming Hero, you're not already.
Oh,
so none
no.
of us are. So, but when you're watching that, you're trying to watch the facial cues
Yeah.
to kind of pick up on the emotion in the room, and I think he did a damn good job because you got the because there was times where he was aggressively signing, hey, like when he was hungry.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
he's like, okay. Then he went again, like, hey, I'm hungry, and it just got there's more emotion essentially behind the way he was signing, more like, hey, this is something real now. He did a good job. He did a damn good job.
Yeah, I agree. And also, I thought the I had his name there for a moment. I forgot it already. Henry, the actor who played Henry, I thought he also did very well.
Lamar
yeah.
Johnson.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
It's Lamar Johnson and Kevon Woodard.
My man Ballistic over here with the facts.
He looked that up right after the episode.
Who is Lamar
I also have
Johnson?
it up.
Because the name sounds super familiar, and I'm not sure if I'm not thinking of somebody else.
Go on talking, and I'll get
Okay.
to it.
Okay.
He's a Canadian actor.
Oh, very nice.
Oh.
So so Henry and Sam, they move out of the building and they start traversing. Where are we at? This is Kansas City. Thank you,
yes.
Brackle. Brackle in the background with the alley-oop. Which I will say, Brackle, not really having ever played The Last of Us, only having like seen me play it a few times, and then other. I think she may have played the first one a little bit, but not really ever like playing the game, is loving the show.
Yeah.
Which of course just makes me happy in my heart, because the show is just fucking phenomenal. And Artie, I know you give me shit because I say every episode's my favorite episode, but like,
You literally every episode. This is a 10 out of 10.
it's because they have been, man. For
They
me,
have been, but you have to be a little more critical, man. What are you gonna do when there's like a real zinger? That's the 10est of 10s, and you've given every other episode a 10 of 10.
yeah, well, I
You're
think
not saving a 10 out of 10. For
I
a
think
perfect episode.
I think next week's episode, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, might be that 10 out of 10.
Oh man.
But you got to tune in next week to the Clicker Cast right here on whatever platform you may be watching and or viewing. tune in
Hello?
next week and you'll find out. Anyway,
That's it. Over. Done.
so they leave and they find like another building just to hear some commotion going on, and it's Joel and Ellie. We kind of like from another perspective, their wreck into the building that turned into a shootout, and Joel almost died because the kid got snuck up on him.
Yeah.
So then at that point, Joel and Ellie, they go through all their little nonsense, kill all those guys. They go find their hiding spot in that room. Henry and Sam tailed them the entire time, which I thought was kind of a funny moment. Was Henry talking nonsense on Joel's perfect intruder plan with all the broken glass on the floor.
Yeah.
But so then we get to the end of the previous episode with Henry and Sam holding them both up to gunpoint. That then turns into almost like I'm not going to do it, but you better not. Well, I'm not going to do it if you don't do it kind of a moment between Henry and Joel, which I'm sorry, I wouldn't challenge Joel.
No.
Although I will say, being realistically here, 6 episodes into the show, I will just kind of say, and I don't know if maybe this is a hot take, I feel like the show Joel is a lot more tame than the game Joel.
Oh
He
yeah.
is. They've actually recently kind of mentioned that in episode 6's podcast.
Okay, I am so many episodes behind on the podcast. I haven't been listening.
They slightly mentioned and we'll go over this obviously next episode. But yeah, they mentioned they did mention that they are 2 different Joels for the most part.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one that noticed that.
Well, you also have to think though, like you can't be a killing machine in the show.
No.
Because there's no point in killing all these NPCs, because it's not logical.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, he has to be.
Yeah, it's not a game. It's not a game. In the game, they need to make it interesting
Yes.
because there's
Definitely.
No acting. It's
Yeah,
just
there's
if
gotta be
you're running
excitement.
through like they are in the show, it's a shit game.
But you're gonna be done
Flat out.
like that.
Definitely.
And Lamar Johnson, from what I think you would recognize him from, was Match in X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Nope. I watched Dark Phoenix, but nope. I got that so far out of my goddamn brain, bro. That movie was doggy doo-doo water.
Yeah.
Nope.
Other
just
than
not
that,
good.
I'm not seeing any other movies. I don't think you would have seen Degrassi, Next Generation, Liar,
Nope.
The Firm, Parkdale, Covert, Something, Brother, Manodrome, Your Honor.
Okay, maybe not then.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I get actors and actresses confused all the goddamn time.
Yeah,
And, like it my brain does not do well with the names and faces of famous people.
A lot of them look so similar. It's so hard.
Kinda.
yeah.
So oh Christ. I turned on my Discord sounds apparently, so now that's going to be going on in the background of this podcast. So that's only slightly irritating.
Oh shit.
It's fine. As I say that, another one pops up. Okay, I'm gonna try to mess with this while I'm also
Yeah, go
talking
ahead.
here. So, Henry and Sam find Joel and Ellie. They hold them up at gunpoint, like it was previously said. Joel offers them some food,
Mm-hmm.
and they kind of. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I'd say he offered them food, honestly, because I feel like it was more Ellie than it was Joel.
Yeah, because in the first like interaction with Henry and Joel, Ellie was like, "Tell him everything's gonna be okay," and he
Right.
goes, "Everything's gonna be fine." And she was like, "Really?"
Right? Yeah,
Like,
that's
It's
his
better
dick
than
voice.
that, damn it.
That's his dick voice. No, so Henry then at that point like unreveals his big master plan the
Yeah.
following day, of course, to Joel and Ellie that he wants to use the tunnels to escape out of Kansas City. And Joel's of course skeptical and thinks it's kind of sus, as we all probably should. And they go along with it apprehensively. Henry telling him that the tunnels were once used to hoard all of the infected, which at this point in the show, I feel like we've definitely like gotten used to things being a lot different than the game.
Yeah.
So I really didn't know what kind of adventure we were going to get with Henry and Sam. I will say I was very pleasantly surprised with what we got there from that entire little endeavor.
Yes.
All the way to finding the room, or I guess the rooms, the little like shelter, and then I thought was really funny. They took the drawing of the cops straight out of the game.
Yep.
I don't remember.
Danny and Ish.
There you go. And like that'll come back too in next week's episode as well. I love how they keep referring back to the game's mechanics in a way, and I think it's awesome.
That entire scene from them playing soccer, that whole fucking scene,
Right.
because it's an optional little interaction, but Ellie does play soccer with Sam in the game.
I actually completely forgot about that, to be completely honest with you. So they waited out in this like homemade shelter and they play soccer. Henry rather reveals to Joel that him not killing people is not exactly 100% honest, that he has done so in the past, and that he's not exactly the best person as he has previously stated he was.
Yeah.
Which not exactly surprising. It's the fucking apocalypse. You know, you gotta watch out for yourself. But Sam apparently got leukemia, which is why he needed the drugs which is why he then got in trouble with Kathleen and Perry, because he was like an informant for them. He gave up. Yeah, it's like this whole big roller coaster of a ride there from Henry's backstory there, but it all made sense at the end. I mean, Joel calls him a rat to his face before they go even into the tunnels.
Yeah, he's like, I don't work with rats. They
Yeah.
said that in like that office space that they were in.
Yeah.
And Henry's like, well, you do now.
Right. So, oh my gosh. The scenes going into the like apocalypse shelter, or whatever the hell you want to call that little space that they were in, there's a lot of information to digest in that room, because like you had the callbacks to the game, you had the backstory, you had the feel bad story for Sam, all this other shit, and it was a lot. And also like the constant worry of like we only know these tunnels exist because they were supposed to be holding infected. We haven't seen a single infected yet, so we're not entirely sure what's up with that. And of course, in the back of our minds, we've got the crater from the one room still kind of assumedly, being moved.
Yep.
Like, we're all still like, well, what's in that? Oh, we'll find out.
That we did.
So we go to Carrie. I put together Carrie and Kathleen and Perry. We go to Kathleen and Perry. Kathleen's in her old childhood room, which, that's got to be weird.
Yeah.
Perry comes into the room, and I kind of felt like they were going to do some kind of, it would have been really left field if they would have, but I almost felt like they were going to try to make like a thing between Perry and Kathleen.
I wouldn't have put it past them if they did.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like I might have been the only one getting those vibes.
I could see it, but I feel like
Brackle agreed.
Perry has definitely different values that would clash with Kathleen.
Right.
For
Definitely.
sure, that would cause an issue.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like maybe that's where we were going with that scene, but then it didn't go that way, which I wasn't exactly complaining about because that'd have been a very random forced relationship to throw on us in the middle of all this other shit.
I think it stuck with. I think it would have stuck with like Commander and Commandee, just the way
Yeah.
like that whole thing was.
Yeah. So Kathleen has like a breakdown in this room about her brother, the doctor, everything going on, but she's also still like staying very, you know, on point, on objective. We have to find Henry. We have to find Sam. We have to kill these other motherfuckers that did this to these other people. And at the same time, she's trying to be this leader for the Resistance. We found out their name was super original. Yeah, I was gonna say.
We're the Resistance, you motherfuckers.
Oh my god.
I preferred the militia, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah.
That's an Nero original right there. Trademark it. So we go back to Group A, the more important group, the main character group.
Yes.
They make it out of the tunnels. It's now nighttime, and it like oddly enough, everything seems fine. We're traveling down this little cul-de-sac, and just when you think, oh, we're good, shots start taking place.
Yep.
Some guy way the hell at the other end of this cul-de-sac taking aim.
Yep.
He is a bit of a shit shot, and Joel says it himself.
Yeah.
Sure does.
Joel goes to flank around. He gets him. It's an old man, which I think is just sad as hell.
Yeah.
And he's working with Kathleen, as we find out, and they're coming with these giant fucking like plow truck tankers, just wrecking through all these cars and all this rubble and shit. And then, like, again, we begin to have one of the only action sequences in this episode. And it begins with Joel shooting somebody in this tanker. It crashes into a house. It blows up, explodes. Everyone's getting out of the car looking for Sam and Henry. And you got Sam, Henry, and Ellie hiding behind a car. Joel all the way on the other end of the cul-de-sac with a sniper rifle. And it's just, everything's coming to a head.
Yeah.
Henry looks like he's going to try to give himself up. And it happened. The scene I've been looking forward to, well, probably like the second scene I've been looking forward to the most. I one of my favorite things about zombie movies, doesn't matter if it's Land of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead, fucking whatever, man. Like, even in games like Days Gone, Left 4 Dead, Dead Island, it doesn't matter. I love those moments where it almost feels like the zombies are like the unbeatable force.
Yes.
And as the truck inches its way into the ground, oh man, I had goosebumps.
Yeah.
It inches its way into the ground, and then everyone like just kind of looks over at this big crater that's in the ground, and then let me tell you, every runner, shambler, clicker within probably 100 miles pops out of this fucking hole, and it's thousands of these fucking infected.
It was a bit.
And then like it's a lot to take down too, because you've got the infected running at all the people.
Yeah.
You got gunfire. You've got Perry telling Kathleen, "Get the fuck out of here."
Yep.
You've got Joel freaking out. You got Ellie, Henry, and Sam freaking out. But well, hang on, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting ahead of myself.
This fucking scene, I gotta talk about it.
That was a tease.
I'm getting ahead of myself. So, I do want to say one small thing. Did you guys notice when the fucking house exploded, that a piece of shrapnel almost hit Bella Ramsey in the head?
No, I
No.
didn't
Yeah.
catch that.
Yeah. So, well, I assume it was probably her stunt double. Or, I'm sorry, their stunt double.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Bella is laying on the ground because the explosion knocked everybody on their ass.
Yeah.
And you see this like piece of shrapnel, and it's like this close to her head, and it hits the ground right in front of her. I was like, "Oh shit!"
Oh damn!
Oh.
I
Go-
didn't even catch that.
Go back
Wow,
and
nice
watch.
catch.
Go
Oh,
back
yeah.
and watch it. I was like,
Okay.
"Damn, okay." Side note. Sorry, I made sure to write a note about that for some reason.
She's looking it up right now.
I am.
Yeah, no, like it almost hits Bella in the head, and like at that point, I'm like, "Oh shit," because like that
Last
the entire thing was practical, and I couldn't believe it. What I thought was even crazier is that like the first half of that horde was practical.
Yes.
That I couldn't believe that. Like this show has blown my mind continuously with
Yeah.
just the with the use of practical effects.
Everything was even the bloater. Bloater was
Yeah.
practical too.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
Dude was. I
Um,
think they said the guy himself was like 6'7". That was in that
Yeah,
costume.
yeah, he's a former well, he's a stunt double usually. But like he's done stunt doubling, I think they said for oh damn it, I don't remember who now. He did stunt work for somebody. It
Okay,
might
so
might have been
massive.
It's so fucking crazy.
might have been Diesel. I might be making that up. I can't say for sure.
Oh, okay.
But
I don't know who it was.
damn it. But they said it right there. The fucking bloater comes out of the hole.
Finally.
And
Finally.
he was just as fucking beautiful as I'd hoped.
Yep.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, man, I love, like I said, I love moments like that when it almost feels like it's impossible. You're not going to get through this.
Yeah.
This bloater pops in, man, and he is massive. I will say, didn't do anything with like the grenade spores or whatever, but like the amount of intensity that he had charging out of that damn hole, I felt like was just as good, if not better.
Right. Well, since they went away from the spores aspect as it is, anyways, it made sense to just have him as a fucking brute tank.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
the spore bombs, whatever. That's just because in practical sense, you get hit with something that's acid, you can't heal yourself in real life from that shit. Everybody's gonna die.
Right.
So the practical sense that he's just some big ass nasty tank of a creature
Yeah, he's just a juggernaut.
makes it, and it's it's pretty much, I think they say it's just unkillable. You can't kill that fucking thing.
Yeah. Well, considering the first 2 seconds of him being out of that hole, he choke slammed a motherfucker with
That was
like
awesome.
no
That was-
effort.
That was so cool.
And then
God.
I'll be honest, I didn't see it coming. He runs up to Perry. Perry's unloading on him, and he straight rips his head clean off.
Yep.
Um,
Which is actually a cool little callback. You're gonna say it. Go
Yep.
ahead. It's your
Yeah.
show.
No, man. It's our show, motherfucker. But yes, it's a callback to the game when you
Yep.
get caught by the bloater in the high school, and in the
Pulls
other
your
parts
jaw
where there's a
straight
bloater.
open.
Yeah,
Just
man.
fucking grabs you by the mouth and just yanks.
I didn't think they were gonna do it.
I
Like,
wasn't expecting them to do
I
that
didn't
either.
even think anything of it, to be honest, because like
Right.
you don't think about like death cutscenes.
I died a
TV
lot, so
show?
I remember that.
oh yeah,
Well, yeah, obviously, but you know this is a TV show
Yeah.
where they're
Right.
not killing Joel every 20 minutes. You know, whatever, it's fine. Like a death scene, like that's the last thing you would think to see
Yeah.
yeah.
in reference at the show,
Yeah.
and it's crazy.
It was nuts.
It was crazy.
Well,
And I saw
amazing.
it. I
Well-
saw it right away. I'm like, oh my god.
well,
Little
in,
Jeffrey Pierce. got his
in
head
that-
ripped off.
in that episode, like we knew, like in the show, we knew people were gonna die, and we know the
course.
people who are going to die because we've all played the game. But like,
Yeah.
we don't think about those side characters that the show just introduces. They're fresh meat on the table. Who knows?
Yeah.
And yeah, man, that bloater just I popped. To use a wrestling reference here, I popped. It was
No
awesome,
effort
man. It was
whatsoever.
It was great. Like I think like all the, and apparently I just saw this on the page that I'm on to get all the info for you. Apparently they introduced stalkers too. I don't know where. I don't remember seeing one, but apparently they introduced stalkers in that scene as well.
it's probably the little girl.
But she looked more
No.
like a clicker to me. That little
No,
girl,
she
because
was-
she had
she
that
was
she
the
had that
clicker, yeah.
plume. She had that plume right there, that full plume. Because
Okay.
I
stalkers
remember
have
it, but I don't remember.
the branches.
To be honest, there was so much going on in that damn scene,
There
especially
was.
with like the thousands of them pouring out of that damn hole.
Yes.
Good God. But in that part as well, you've got, and with all that going on, the bloater showing up and basically ripping Perry a wider mouth. You've got you've got Ellie, Henry, and Sam trying to get away. Ellie climbs into a car, which we get greeted to just the creepiest little actress, a ballerina, who I think they said she's like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And dude, I wasn't ready for that shit.
I wasn't either. I didn't think they were gonna bring a little girl in there, but it makes sense because
Right.
if you remember from the game, and obviously if you just watched the show, you
Yep.
know there was kids in that tunnel. Well, where the hell were they all? Obviously they all
Yep.
died.
Yup.
It
Some
just
way.
proves that no one is safe from this.
No.
No,
It doesn't matter if you're a kid, if
Mhm.
you're old, if
I
whatever.
yeah. I thought it was a really good attention to detail
Oh, yeah.
that there are going to be kids that are
Yep.
infected.
Yeah.
And to have that creepy, no offense to that actress, that creepy ass little girl crawling like that. That's the one
That's
thing that gets me
crazy.
is the crawling.
Yeah.
Ah.
No, man. Like it's like I
It
said,
was great, though.
I wasn't ready for it, man. Not at all.
Mm-mm.
Because like she was great.
Yes.
She was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
But no, so you've got everything going on. Joel and Ellie also save Henry and Sam at some point when they're underneath
Yes.
a car. That all finally comes to a head. You've got Joel, Ellie, Henry, and Sam. They finally get back together. They get ready to run, and then there's Kathleen, gunpoint, and she's telling them like, "You need to come on, like stop
Yeah.
running. I'm gonna put you down. This is the end of
Yep.
it." And that
Yep.
child clicker, the little girl, like,
Fucking leaps.
Came in clutch.
leaps, bro, and like poetic justice, 110%.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I was
Um,
giddy.
He deserved it. He was a bitch.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they do the smartest damn thing that they could have done, and they got the hell out of Dodge.
Yep.
Yes.
Which thank God.
Yes.
You have to stay and fight. No, the fuck you don't.
I'll tell you what,
The
man.
hell out of there.
So with that, do you think that's the last that we're gonna see the bloater this season? Probably, right?
It's hard. I would say
I guess it depends.
yes.
How they
Depends
do the
on,
rest of it, though.
because at the end of the first game when you're going, spoilers for the game.
Spoilers for
Everything.
an over
Everything.
10-year-old game.
Everything, yeah. When you're going through the tunnel, getting to the hospital in Salt Lake City,
Yeah.
you face another bloater there.
Right.
So I don't know. It's hard to say how closely they're going to follow that because obviously they are changing some aspects
Yeah.
due
Yes.
to time wise and make sure they get through everything, which they're doing great.
I would agree.
And again, we'll talk about that next episode.
Oh, we got a lot to talk about in the next episode.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
but yeah. So I don't know. It's hard to say how they're going to follow that.
I can't imagine we're gonna see a bloater again. Maybe in passing at the very end of the show,
Yeah,
with during like Joel or Ellie's like inner monologue at the very end, right before the last scene, the last part of the credits roll up.
yeah.
Because we're probably gonna get that.
I hope we do.
Because we didn't get anything like that. It was just like the last little conversation between Joel and Ellie.
Yeah.
and then the game went to black, and that's when the
Yeah.
game's credits started rolling. So I
Yeah.
imagine we're gonna get some kind of a monologue,
Yeah.
and then that's probably when we're gonna get like season 2. Here's
Yeah.
your super secret short clip thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Little
Teaser. Yeah. I don't
I'm
know.
curious if they're filming that already.
Oh, they've got to be.
hope so.
There's no way they don't immediately take the success of this fucking show and
Yeah.
just run with it. Like they
Yeah.
I
have
mean,
to.
shit, they were renewed after what, 3 episodes?
Honestly, I doubt they even took that long. They probably
Yeah.
got greenlit season 2 after episode 1.
Yeah.
Because episode 1 almost, I think it wasn't half, but it was above half of the amount of people that watched House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
And they're
Which
getting
it was some
millions
dumbass.
of new viewers every week.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was some
It's
dumbass
crazy.
amount of people that watched it. It was like some
It shut HBO down. HBO almost
It
crashed.
crashed.
Yeah.
Or did crash, yeah.
For some people, yes.
I can't, like, we watch it live, right? We watch it every
Yes.
Sunday after it airs at 8 o'clock
8 o'clock.
Mhm.
Yep.
CST, and we we can't get through an episode without it kind of like
Really?
yeah,
Oh,
like
shit.
yeah,
We've
it's
never had a problem.
no
No.
good. I'm glad. But no, like it's not like debilitating, but like it's kind of like yeah, people are watching the show.
People are watching,
yeah.
yeah. It's and as you should. Watch the fucking
Definitely,
show.
definitely,
Yes,
it's
it's so good.
fantastic. Honestly, after the last episode, I'm probably gonna go back and binge the entire show again.
I probably will too.
Oops. So they get the hell out of Dodge.
Mhm.
When we see the bloater and just it like when we have that zoom out, like again, the cinematography of the show is just fucking amazing.
Amazing. So
But like
Yes.
we got the zoom out happening, and like you see the bloater kind of like turn around, and he's like stomping away, and then like you still have more infected coming out of the hole, man. Like
Yeah.
they didn't stop. It's insane.
That city is done.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
100%. So we end up in this like raggedy hotel motel, and it's Henry and Joel talking things over. You got Ellie and Sam in the bedroom, kind of like that sounded sus. Sorry. You've got Ellie and Sam hanging out in the bedroom. Sorry, children.
that's not any better, to be honest. But
They're chit chatting.
they were in there talking.
Yes, they're yeah.
They were
Talking.
chit chatting, guys.
They were passing notes.
Yes.
Literally
Oh.
passing notes.
I mean, yes, literally. Which did y'all have one of those as a kid?
No.
No, I don't think I had one either.
I
I had an Etch-a-Sketch, but I didn't
Yeah, me
have one of
too.
those. I didn't have one of
Yeah.
those. I don't even know what the hell those are called, but
I
Brackle.
had one of the magnet ones with the pen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had one of those.
Yeah, no, Brackle and I were talking about it during like after the show, like when it was doing the whole like behind the show or behind the
Yeah.
episode thing. And she was pretty sure she had one when she was a kid. I never got one.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I had one.
I don't even know what the hell those things are called, but
I remember.
had tons of them.
you had tons of them.
Tons of them.
Car.
You're hearing it here. But Joel kind of takes like a step out of his shell, which we constantly get a little bit more friendly Joel in every single episode, and he straight invites Henry and Sam to come out with them to Wyoming.
Yep.
However, we all know what was coming next, and I didn't say anything to Braggle before the beginning of this. All I said was, "Hey, you ready to be sad?" Because I don't even think I need my notes at this point because yeah, no, I'm good. I know the rest of this. What I thought was an interesting moment, Ellie and Sam, they're passing this this notepad back and forth, and it doesn't doesn't happen immediately, but it takes a little bit of time for Sam to then open up to Ellie and admit that he got bit, that he's gonna turn, he's infected.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if Ellie did this in the game, but she tried to quote unquote heal him with her blood.
No, because in the game, Ellie doesn't know he's infected.
Right, because they all find out the next morning when he goes
Yes.
all ape shit. Right,
Yep.
right.
It was still relatively line for line, though,
Yeah.
Pretty close.
with Sam asking, when you get infected, are you still yourself?
Mm-hmm.
And that whole little back and forth writing was damn near line for line up until the point that he inevitably shows her the bite, which is actually, I think, in the same spot as it was in the game.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
so. But oh god. We it fucking hit me, man. It hit me.
Tough.
It was very tough.
Ellie tries to cure him with her blood, which I thought was a really super interesting like perspective, because it's kind of like, could she pull that off?
Yes.
Like, is it Ellie's blood that keeps her immune? Like, we don't know. Like, honestly,
Yeah.
they never really talk about why she's immune, or like what the scientific theory, or you know, of fucking why is she immune? You know, we don't ever get a reason.
No.
Spoiler alert for those that haven't seen the show or haven't played the game rather. Which also, I feel like we don't ever say enough. Go play the fucking game if you haven't.
Yes. Play the games, both of them.
Yeah, yeah. You won't enjoy the ending of the second one, which,
No.
Artie,
Fuck that.
you finally did it.
And I'm pissed.
We'll talk.
We'll talk. Oh yeah, we'll talk.
But let's just get to it. They go to sleep. The next morning, Ellie goes to wake up Sam. He's sitting on the edge of his bed and he's infected. He attacks her. And what I thought was an interesting turn of events, because in the game, Joel shoots Sam. No?
No, Henry still does.
Does he?
Yeah.
I was pretty sure Joel did.
No, Henry does.
Yeah. Okay. Damn, now I'm questioning myself on everything.
Yeah, no, Henry still does shoot him.
Okay. Well, regardless, Henry shoots Sam. And they don't show it, which I think was probably for the best decision.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we don't need to see that. Obviously, nobody does. It's there. The blood's trickling on the floor. We all know what happened. We're not
Yeah.
idiots.
Yeah.
And unable to live with what the fuck just transpired. Obviously, Henry rather. Sorry. He then puts the gun to himself and follows with that.
Yeah.
It then, of course, goes to black, and then goes to the next scene of them burying the bodies,
Mm-hmm.
and Ellie writing on the little notepad, "I'm sorry," throwing it onto the tomb, to the grave, and walking away from Joel, saying, "Let's go." They then head west. First question out of the gate: did it hit you? Because it fucking nailed me.
100%. Even worse so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I figured this out a little later on, just kind of doing a little bit more research. Because it hit me again afterwards when I found this out, is the fact that when they wake up, Sam is facing away from Ellie.
Yep.
And you notice she talked to him, didn't answer. Nice little subtle thing going back on what they were talking about with, are you still you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. You're still deaf. He didn't hear. he didn't know she was there until tapped on the shoulder.
Yep.
And that for me made it so much worse and so much like she thought she did it. Like she forgot that he got bit almost.
Right.
Like that he was still there because she called out his name and he didn't respond. And she's like, oh shit, duh. And then tapped him on the shoulder. Like it just made it that much more emotional for me when that transpired. And then everything after the fact with Henry's realization of what did I just do? That whole transpiring. You know, he shot his only family. And he couldn't like that. Goddamn. Like, how do you you can't do it justice with just talking about it.
No, definitely not.
Because it's such a sad scene. It was such a sad scene in the game. And Bella Ramsey did such a good job also as Henry shot himself and killed himself.
Yeah.
Because you heard her gasp and shriek almost after it happened. Because again, you like in the game you forget because it's kind of very, I go back on it a lot. In the game it's very one tone, very kind of robotic almost, like she's done this before, blah blah blah. And here you're again, and I'm gonna keep on saying it probably throughout these podcasts. Craig and Scott, wow, or Neil, sorry.
There you go.
Fuck.
I was gonna say Scott. What?
Yeah.
That's not The Walking Dead. Come on
Whoops. Craig and Neil are doing a very good job at humanizing the game
now.
Mhm.
Yes.
and making it hit a lot more emotionally than you were in the game.
Yeah.
That there were a few scenes in both games that brought me to tears. But this game is doing, or this show is doing a very, very, very good job of doing it multiple times.
Yeah.
Like it almost got me, like fully,
Yeah.
because I didn't know what to say. And then the I'm sorry.
Yep.
Thank you guys for fucking last nail
Yep.
on that one. Because you're like, she said she's sorry because she didn't cure him.
Yep.
Yeah. She thinks that
She
she
failed.
failed him, which
Yep.
is just fucking devastating. Going into the
Yeah.
episode, man, like I knew it was gonna hit, but like fucking Christ.
As soon as they made Sam deaf,
Yep.
I knew it was gonna be tenfold worse.
It's gonna be a doozy.
And such a like it. I don't want to like make the decision of making Sam deaf seem like a small decision.
No.
Because
No.
like it's while it is a minute detail in essence, it also just implies so much more to his and Henry's story, because Henry then has to protect Sam from so much more, because obviously Sam can't fucking hear anything.
Yeah,
He's not
Sam
going to know if the
relies on
clicker's there.
Henry tenfold more
Yeah.
in the show than he would have in the game,
Yep.
for the most part,
Yeah.
being handicapped as he is.
And like such a small decision, but like it's again, and I heard Craig and Neil talk about it when they decided that Sam should be deaf.
Mhm.
And it was actually Craig's idea, which Neil of course got mad because he's like,
Yep.
I hate that I didn't come up with it.
Yep.
Trust me, Neil.
Motherfucker.
Trust me, Neil. We do too, man, because it was a beautiful ass decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane, man. So we're gonna wrap things up here, but I want final thoughts from both of you. Um, I want to take a moment. I want to talk about the guy who played the bloater because I have some like really like I'm a nerd when it comes to like uh background shit about movies and TV shows. I've got a little bit of information about that.
Okay.
And then we'll get into ratings.
Okay.
So, final thoughts. Artie, go ahead. I feel like you've been quiet tonight.
Yeah, a little. You guys are just conversation. It's been nice to listen to, but yeah, it was a really good episode. I like kind of how Ballistic was saying that they're doing such a good job turning these characters into people, and I feel like it gets better every single week. Because there's always something new, somebody new. And, oh, God, it's so good. Like, you would never think that, like, something like that would affect Ellie the way it does. Or, you know, Joel is affected by whatever. But they are.
Right.
And it's so nice to see that come to life. Especially, you know, when the ending happens with Henry and Sam. That's a huge toll on Ellie. Because they're doing this whole thing because she is this savior, she's this cure, and it didn't work. And you see that absolute devastation on her face. And there's nothing she can do about it. And I think they're doing a really good job making her a person.
Yeah.
Because it's all a joke to her in the game. So the fact that she's like a person with feelings, it's a really, really, really nice touch on Ellie as a character.
And to kind of add on that as well, I think that just really commends to Bella Ramsey and her portrayal of Ellie.
Incredible.
100%.
And it's funny because we're on what? This is episode 5 of the show.
5, yes.
You know, 6 weeks ago, we weren't even sure if Bella was going to do that well.
Yep.
And I remember the weeks heading into the show. I was sitting here like, I don't know if Bella chosen as Ellie is like, I don't know if that's the right move. But like I
called it.
Brackle did call it, yes. I don't know if y'all heard that or not.
Yeah. A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. She yelled, I called it. Which she did. She's been behind Bella Ramsey being Ellie this entire time. And I will say, I haven't necessarily been in the opposite corner of Bella Ramsey, but she hasn't been in enough things that I've seen to, because like, I'm sorry, it's one of those things where when I was doing my podcast originally, it was Small Talks with the Big Guy. This is a long time ago, which you can still find this episode on all of my all of the platforms that you can listen to this episode of the podcast on. Anyway, I did a like top 50 favorite video games of all time.
Okay.
I went through and I talked about every single video game. Like it took me like an hour and a half. It was ridiculous. But number 1 was The Last of Us. I say was because it was on number 1. I mean, it still very well could be nowadays, honestly. We're not going to get into that. But I love this game. I love both of these games. The Last of Us is one of the few games that I have, like, I don't know. I don't really have any critiques about the game. Like, I loved it. I loved it so much. Does it get repetitive sometimes? Sure. But like it's the narrative that like I am a sucker for a good story. And the narrative is what gets me every single time. And like when you love something so fucking much, they're gonna take it and they're gonna turn it into something else that needs to be knocked out of the park. And yeah, I was fucking worried, man. Just like with this God of War show that Corey Balrog's making. I'm
intrigued with that.
So am I, which we'll have to talk about that. But if they don't knock it out of the park, ooh,
Yeah.
Ooh, the amount of fucking hate.
Oh yeah.
If they didn't knock this show out of the fucking park, oh god, the internet would have never shut up, and I probably wouldn't have either.
Nope.
I'm glad to say it's obviously not the fucking case.
It would have been just another terrible adaptation in the books.
It'd have been Doom all over again.
Yeah.
Doom with Dwayne
This
the
is
Rock.
nothing that people aren't used to, though. 'Cause
Agreed.
As a
Yeah.
video game lover, you are so used to things being absolutely butchered
Yes.
when it comes to anything other than the game itself.
Yeah.
So it would have been like, oh, they fucked this one up too. Try again next time.
Right.
Especially with a game like Last of Us that has such an immense storyline to it.
Yeah.
Like, there's already a story.
Yeah.
Like, you can't. Again, like you guys have said, both of you, as a video game lover and an avid player, for myself, and I know Ebro already, slightly with the Last of Us series, both games. The amount of time we have spent with all these characters that they're coming out with, and the storyline that we know so very well, you cannot mess that up.
No.
You can't. Like, that's flat out. You cannot mess that up. Period.
Well, you can.
Well, you can, but it won't be good.
But it's better to not.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that they're still throwing in line for line, scene for scene snippets from in the show to the game is such a brilliant move that I think most game adaptations to shows or movies don't do. They pretty much take it and be like, hey, this is the video game. Now we're just going to throw something brand new fucking at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have no idea what the hell's going on, who these people are. It's just, hey, let's call this the video game name and let's make it kind of similar.
Yep.
Uncharted.
I don't agree with that.
No?
Actually.
No?
No, because the characters were similar. Yeah. I mean, like, the biggest difference was the enemy of the story. Because I don't think that was ever an actual boss in the Uncharted games.
Oh, I couldn't
But
even
I mean,
tell you.
Otherwise, like, you've got Chloe in there, you've got Nathan Drake, Sully, and those are like your main people
Yeah.
in the games. So I don't think that's true.
Okay.
And
fair
there
enough.
were some scenes from the games that were
Yes.
in the movie.
Yes, there was.
For sure. Like the fucking cargo plane. That was awesome. That was so cool.
In all honesty, the main reason I cannot with that movie, it's fucking Mark Wahlberg.
Yep. Honestly, my biggest complaint about that movie is Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Because he is not old enough to be Sully.
Like, and don't
whether
get it
it's pre-Uncharted or not.
right.
He is not an old man.
And like, don't get it
Victor
twisted.
Sullivan is old as fuck.
And like, don't get it twisted. I love Mark Wahlberg. I love Marky Mark. Like some of
I
his.
liked him in Ted.
I highly recommend watching Four Brothers if you haven't.
Four Brothers is fantastic.
It's one of my favorite movies he's ever been in. There's a whole bunch more that I can't really think of right now. Huh? Rockstar?
Oh yeah,
Rockstar.
I remember that. That's early.
Brackles.
That's early, Mark.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. I don't know, man. That's my main gripe. But yes, we got sidetracked. To get back on point here, because we do need to wrap this up. So no, to get we were all worried, but
Yes.
I can safely say 5 weeks, 6 weeks into this fucking show, I got nothing to worry about.
No.
I'm slightly worried. Okay, I do have one thing I have to worry about. I'm slightly worried where the amount of time that we have left in the game story comparative to how many episodes we have left in the show is going
I
to
said the
go.
same thing last night.
Yeah, and
But
I explained it slightly.
but tune in next week when we talk about that more in detail,
Yes.
because
Yep.
somebody points to ballistic_gaming_ was right about something. What, you ask? You'll have to find out next week on the Clickercast. Oh, fuck. Ratings.
And just one more thing, Eero.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is new to you. It's now Ballistic Gaming TV. It's easier
Oh, let's go.
to say.
Hey,
No more underscores. It's just a mouthful, so I switched it out.
you love to fucking see it, man. Congratulations on a shorter name.
Thank you.
And welcome to the TV gang. It
Yes.
fucking blows, little brother, let me tell you.
Yeah, I know. It's not on anywhere. I only have that name on Twitch and on Linktree.
Yeah. Oh my god. I hate having TTV in my name so fucking much, but Eero's too short.
Yeah, that's what Artie was actually saying.
Yep.
But all right, ratings.
Yes. Anyway, back on track.
Back on track. My
Oh.
very first 10. Fantastic
Yeah?
fucking job on this
Yeah?
episode.
Okay.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Every bit of it, from the action to the emotion to the end scene to everything. I have zero complaints on this episode. They
Yeah.
stuck right to the point. They stuck right to the linear. There was multiple game show sequences in this episode, from the sniper scene to the underground to the end. Fan fucking tastic. One of my favorites so far.
Awesome.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm afraid to give anything a 10, honestly. Because I'm so worried that something big and better is going to come the second I say it's a 10 out of 10. So for that reason alone, I'm going to give it a 9.8.
Okay. Fair enough.
I will say, going off of what you just said, bigger and better moments on the way.
Yep.
We ain't got a whole lot bigger and better moments left. Like,
No.
like
We got
obvious.
at least one big one.
Well, we do, yes. Obviously, you've got my favorite scene still on its way. Hopefully, wink, wink. Your favorite scene, Artie, hopefully still coming. We've got the David fight,
Yep.
the hospital, and then of course the Left Behind DLC that's being turned into its own episode apparently.
Yes, it is.
So I can count all those moments in one hand. So I mean, I don't know. I don't think we have too many big moments left in the show.
Yeah.
And like you know what, you called me out on it. That I think I've given just about every episode a 10 out of 10, and I will do it again. I will do it a fucking again. 10 out of 10 for me on this one. This show has hit in every fucking spot it absolutely can. And I'll tell you this much. When we go back on the final, like not on the final episode of the show, but our final episode here as the Clickercast, when we go over the entirety of the show as a whole,
Yes.
I want us to go back and I want us to re-rate all of the episodes, because I think with that fresh perspective, especially with the climax of the show and it all wrapping up into that one big nice little bow that we all know as The Last of Us, I think it will be kind of more like revealing as far as the story goes. And then maybe then I won't be so like, you get a 10 and you get a 10 and you get a 10.
I think overall, the show is a 10 out of 10.
Oh, 100 fucking percent.
Yes.
But I want to be more critical on the episodes.
That's fair.
But
That's
not
fair.
everything is, this is perfect, no complaints. Because I do have complaints.
No, and I mean, I definitely do to a point as well. I think my biggest complaint is the timing of every episode, because it's so like, it's so unorganized. Like, this episode's 49 minutes. This episode's an hour and 10 minutes. This episode's 51 minutes.
And the last one is 46.
Yeah, like
Which makes no sense.
And like, maybe that's me getting greedy, because I do want more and more and more and more of The Last of Us.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I feel like every episode being at least 50 minutes, if not more, could not have been that difficult of a premise. But then again, I'm not a Hollywood producer. I don't know how much it costs to make this shit. I'm sure it costs a lot of fucking money. But,
Yeah.
regardless. Oh, and that little tidbit of information I had about the guy who played the bloater, apparently that suit that he wore, which by the way, I think they said took 6 hours for him to get completely into
That makes sense.
with all the makeup and all that shit, that suit weighed 80 pounds.
Yep.
God damn.
Sure did.
Which I don't know the guy's name. Ballistic, you don't have to look it up. Unless you already know it on the top of your head, which I'm assuming you do not. The dude's a bodybuilder. He's fucking huge. He's jacked as shit. The dude's like 6'8", 6'6", something like that. He's ridiculously big. But dude, you fucking nailed it. Good job. Proud of you.
You did a good job there, buddy boy.
Good job.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so very much for tuning into this episode of the Clickercast. As always, I am joined by my fellow clickers in crime, Ballistic Gaming, Artie the Gamer. I'm not gonna let them. I'm not gonna have it be the usual outro.
Cutting us off.
I am. You should go follow them though, because they're both fucking fantastic people.
Yeah.
They're both amazing fucking people, and if you're not already, go follow them. Go fucking follow them now. Because I'm not on Twitch anymore to entertain you. Sadly. But go follow them, okay? Go follow them on TikToks, Twitches, whatever it is, man. And as always, we'll see you next week. Same infected time, same infected place. Time, I don't know, that's probably arbitrary. Because it's definitely uploaded.
Time.
It's on Fridays.
Fridays. Between like noon and midnight.
Yeah.
We'll have it up.
Something like that, definitely. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week, and get ready for next week because I've got a lot to talk about.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.